Welcome to Monday CNG 212. Today's our second week into our projects. Hopefully, you guys are making some headway. Um, let's see, what do I want to get into? Um, Make sure that you are executing the plan you laid out. I didn't see, I think I saw about half of you guys submitted a plan through email. Okay, maybe not half, maybe about a quarter. That plan on how you're going to execute this, very important. Um, so you have an idea of how to reach those goals, and it makes it a lot easier to put um, onto paper your idea. Let me see if I can't bring up uh, an old, what was it, CNG 258? No, 259. So here's an old, once again, this one is a project presentation, and there's 9 slides. Um, let's make this as large as it can go. So when you're doing your presentation, and this should be a interview type um, presentation. I mean, once you're done with this project, you're going to have issues that you run into, and this will help, you know, help you get through that interview by having something to talk about, having a relatable piece of idea to write, to talk about, and even show them. You don't understand how impressed people are when you bring them a handout to review or something tangible to look over while you explain another thing. When I was on campus pitching for CNG department expansion, I came up with a quick map that showed exactly how I would use the room and then where I'd put the servers within the room, where I'd have student workers working so that they were accessible to students that were studying in the room. And having all information laid out is like a extra wow factor to people that are trying to interview you. So here was the presentation, data backup, where is it backed up, local backup, network backup, and also implementing a disk usage quota. And it wasn't there wasn't a lot of words. Basically, your PowerPoint is just a discussion piece for you to interact with your audience. You're going to see that. I have a good. I am signing over here, and I got you a good reference piece um, for PowerPoints that are just there's too much data in them. From my standpoint, that maybe just a paper should have been used in that example instead of a PowerPoint presentation. Right here, and this video will be just a little bit longer, guys. This one's a PDF. Yeah, so they did a file, a kind of a file presentation on it. Um, so PowerPoint through PDF. Um, this is one of the instructors, or two of the instructors at Regis University. It starts out real good, and then it starts to dive into a lot of reading. If you're trying to talk about your system or what you're presenting on, let's take a higher step back. What you're presenting on, you already know what you did the project on. You're gonna inform the people through points like this and give them topics to talk about. Local history. You can see where the saves were done. Um, Jump into remote backups. You're not going to throw a lot of information at them and say, okay, uh, read this while listening to me talk, so that you even get more lost if you don't have a background in this stuff. As we get moving on, like this is a good slide, that's a good slide. There were a few more further down. Yeah, a lot of information to read at once. Keep your slides very, very simple in your presentation. Once again, mine was 9. I would say minimum 5, max 9. Try to fall within there. This was kind of a few different backups. I guess it's all in backups. If you want to touch on it, that's more than fine. The method of procedures, once again, bring mine up here. Method of procedure is going to be very long. You can see I use different types of headings, so I could get through it with quickly. Let's see if anybody remembers Ed Overacker. We had a discussion about large documents like this that people they could use page numbers to search to get around, or Control F, as you see here, I was already searching documents. Control F gets you to where you want to be a lot quicker. This document, 120 pages. Let's go to Appendix A. Yes. Yes. Appendix A is Windows 2012 hardening. Basically, I just took the OS and gave it updates, brought it up to date, and then I think I just left. Yeah, so I left in links here so that the person doing this can actually go out to where I was getting the step-by-step process from to go complete these tasks. What else? Here I am at Appendix B, setting up a slave DNS. As you see here, this doesn't look like a Windows machine, right? It's a Linux machine. I forget what type, but I think it was Ubuntu. But here we're setting up a slave DNS server through Linux, and hopefully farther on, you'll see where one whole appendix is just struck through because it didn't work. Got to the end, and the functionality wasn't there. Yeah, here it is. So Appendix H did not work on the Linux machine. So therefore, it was not removed. It was just struck through because the next person to take this, if I was to hand this to one of you guys, you could probably, well, you could complete all the work I've done by following my process and looking what I tried that didn't work and saying, okay, he tried that. Let me look through what he was trying. Okay. Oh, I see the mistake there. Let me try it like this. And that's what this MOP document is. It's just a way to look through what's going to back up. And here we went to backup PC instead of that one above there. And that would be your method of procedures. Once again, it's going to be a long document. If I do see anybody's perfect, it's going to raise some questions in my head. Your MOP at some point is going to have a strike through. That's just the way it's going to go. Somebody asked about drawings. Why is my Visio opening? Yes. You guys have access to, I believe, Visio through the Azure. That can create a template, a network map. You can hand draw one. As you guys saw last week, Aaron used Packet Tracer. That's a great tool because that'll even show you more down to the level how they're going to connect. Instead of mine just saying having arrows, this is connecting to here, this is connecting to that. A more in-depth way of it. You can hand draw it. As I mentioned later, if we go over to Firefox and you sign up for a free account on AWS, you have access to their they're freewares that have Visio, that help you make network maps. Um, Once again, feel free to make your stuff up on the cloud too. If you get through your project quickly and get it to work. Um, Jump on the cloud and see if you can't start deploying up there. There's a bunch of free images up on AWS, Azure, that will help you start to look at cloud applications. And this is what's really starting to take off is hybrid cloud solutions where parts of the server are physical, local, where the business is at, while other parts of the server, like storage, if we look at an S3 bucket, where parts of the storage is just on the internet, network security, load balancing, auto scaling. And here in the S3 bucket, I just have a few things stored, but I can reach all these buckets and store stuff within this bucket here, this main bucket. I guess you say in this bucket are all my files that I'm using for cloud purposes. So maybe if you do a backup, you put that backup into an S3 bucket that your server goes into. Then there's, guys, if you really want to get in this, there's plenty of walkthroughs. Don't feel like this is going to be a huge project that you just kind of like, you don't know what to do. Amazon and many other third-party clients provides walkthroughs for you to complete these tasks for that. Fairly easy to do. I wouldn't say minimal research, but you do have to follow directions, much like the labs we did in class. The labs you completed, if you took like a 132 from me, or the 15-page labs that we did in firewalls, along with the 132. It's just paying close attention to those details and making sure they're right, and going through them like that. I will leave you guys at that at that point for this week. We're almost reaching my max. Keep on working on these projects. Next week is Thanksgiving week, so we have a break. If you're behind on any assignments from weeks 1 through 13 or 1 through 12, make sure to get those in. I want everyone to pass. I cannot give you a grade, so you got to do the work. But yeah, if you need any help, reach out to me through the Google Hangouts or email, and I will answer you promptly or as soon as I can. Talk to you soon. Bye.